You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and do-do-do-dettes. I'm your host, Matt Burns, and with me, as always, my co-host, John Ballore.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
And as always, we are not in the same room together, so that might be why we have a few interruptions with each other, because we can't actually see each other.
Yeah, we're only basing it on each other speaking, so if we trip over each other a little bit, it's not intentional, but it's a sort of byproduct of the fact that A, we can't see each other, and B, as you may have heard in the background there, myself and Matt Burns are both, independently of each other, really not well this week. So, yeah, that might not help either.
No, so if at any point we sound a bit standoffish, it's sluggish, it's because we're not 100%, but we felt as though this week's episode, normally we would have skipped it, but with it being so close to a big event and a lot going on, we thought we would push on. The show must go on.
Indeed. And so with that in mind, we've got quite a lot of ground to cover today. Let's get straight on to point one.
However, before we get on to this, we just need to state, with today's episode, unfortunately it is a pre-recorded episode, and that is due to the fact that unfortunately we've got busy schedules. I will be attending another wrestling show in regards to Venom Wrestling Federation on Sunday, which is in Starbridge.
Cool.
And I understand that you're busy as well yourself, working on certain projects.
I certainly am, yes. All of which meant a live recording on Sunday was unfortunately out of the equation this week. But hey, we're still here, so it's all good. You're going to get your fix.
Exactly. And on top of that, at the moment, it's later than usual than what we normally do, so we couldn't go live. But we thought we'd get a pre-recorded episode, get it all done and dusted, so we got your weekly fix
of our insight into the world of pro wrestling.
Basically here are our thoughts and everything in regards to it, but unfortunately we've got to start off this week's episode on a sad note.
Yes.
Which is the fact that unfortunately during this week, some of you may have noticed on our social media that we ended up having to put out a post in regards to the sad passing of Ashley Mazzara.
At the age of just 39, which is horrifically young.
Yeah. It is. And what makes it even worse and more harder in regards to it is the fact that there's been no statements in regards to the cause as such as of yet.
Which means, of course, it would be childish of us to speculate. We simply have to bring you more information, most likely on next week's show or in the coming weeks as soon as we get it. But needless to say, we're not going to speculate. We're simply here to report the tragic news and send our condolences to her friends and family.
True. However, one thing I will state is the fact that the police have stated in regards to her death is the fact that there was no ill will involved.
No foul play suspected.
Correct. No foul play suspected in the fact that it, as in the sense of she wasn't murdered as such or harmed by anybody else.
To the best of the police's knowledge so far. So that is fantastic news. Well, I rephrase that. That is the best possible news in a tragic situation.
Correct. Now, some may or may not know that Ashley Mazzara was considering potentially returning to wrestling, but it might not have actually been with WWE directly, but nonetheless, it is a tragic loss in regards to this, with being so young and it isn't. It hasn't. To be honest, I actually remember seeing this post and instantly seeing the announcement being made, and instantly thought, "Is this a joke?"
Yeah, I completely agree. My first reaction was, what? Surely not.
I was hoping it was a hoax, and unfortunately it wasn't. It has actually come out as 100% genuine, and on top of that, it's caught a lot of people off guard. Just one example straight away on someone who was living in her area in regards to it and supposedly saw her regular would be Mick Foley.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we say, it hit us hard. We have to assume it's hit the whole wrestling world hard. So, the Burning Tree sends its condolences to all of her friends and family in this difficult time.
And work colleagues. So, in regards to, as usual, when such a loss has happened, the Burning Truth usually does a minute silence in honour, which we are going to do as of
today is no different.
Today is no different, and we are going to be starting that 1 minute of silence now. And with that, a minute is over. The Burning Truth would like to just state, rest in peace, Ashley Mazzaro.
Indeed. And moving on from that, but sadly to some other news, which is still not what you would call happy, unfortunately.
To some, it might sound ecstatic. To others, not so much when you look into it. This being that Chris Jericho has decided to debut a new finisher.
Ooh, potentially interesting.
It's called the Judas Effect.
Slightly odd choice, but I can understand why he's gone for that particular name, given recent events.
Given recent events and the fact that in regards to Fozzy, who has actually released an album that is similar.
That makes quite a lot of sense. The question is, though, for those of you who might be wondering at home, is it a whole new move, Mr. Matt Burns, or is it simply like when Christian suddenly decided that the Unprettier was now going to be called the Kill Switch?
Unfortunately, it is not the latter.
It is not a new name for the same move. He has come up with a new move to go with the new name, is what you're saying. Oh, now, wow.
A lot of people probably just picked up on what I actually said there. Now, if it's a whole new move, normally most would be ecstatic. You probably noticed that I said unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, in case anybody doesn't know what it is, when you actually see what the move is, on paper, or hearing about it, it sounds devastating. And could legitimately knock somebody out. But
when we describe it to you in a minute, it might not be something that you immediately makes you jump up and go, wow, that's going to look special.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
A standing, spinning back elbow.
Spinning back elbow. Oh. Yeah.
We're not talking about a leaping one.
No. If, like me, listeners of The Burning Truth at home, you're a little bit disappointed by that, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. But, yeah. I, for one, kind of understand why he's done it. It's a case of new company, new start.
Yeah.
However, am I the only one that quite liked the Code Breaker?
It got the job done.
Exactly.
Also, what's more devastating? A spinning back elbow to the face, which, yes, would hurt and could legitimately knock you out, or double knees to the face.
Yes. I wonder. Well, anyway, I'm sure he has perfectly legitimate reasons for doing it, and it will be interesting and different to
True.
see him end matches in initially odd, but I'm sure once we've got used to it, just different way.
True, and any move can typically become a finisher, and if done it right, and fingers crossed, he does it right, does it justice, and actually can somehow make a reputable finisher out of it. Because
Yeah, let's hope so.
it's not like he's going to do a John Cena.
Ooh. We really hope not.
What's that? I take it you like how we went there?
Like it's maybe a strong word, but we went there, so there's no taking it back now.
Yeah, because I will say, I know a lot of people can say, John's getting enough flack, he gets enough ball, he gets enough of it. Not crediting him, not dissing him at all. I just felt as though when he used his so-called new finisher, which was the lightning hands.
Yeah. Not feeling it.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. So it didn't feel like, especially after delivering the AA.
Yeah. It was kind of like a completely unnecessary fourth exclamation mark on the end of the sentence.
Yep, it is.
But there you go. Anyway,
and unfortunately, unfortunately with this, it seems like it's basically fingers crossed. If it is bad, they pretty much revert back. They've always got that option.
More than likely. He always has the option to just go, no, I never said I was going to keep it. It was just a one-off. If it is really horribly received. We obviously hope not, but the fickle world of pro wrestling fans, you can never honestly tell, can you?
It's hit and miss.
Indeed. So now the question is, I think we've covered that in as much detail as we possibly can.
True.
Are we going to do the other bit of AEW-related news next?
Well, you know what? I think we are. We're going to segue straight into it.
I'm thinking that makes sense to go from one piece of news about the promotion to another.
Yeah.
And it's good news for fans of the fledgling company.
Yes, it is. Now, last week, it was last week we reported that AEW has actually acquired a UK television. Well, pay-per-view television.
Deal, yep.
What could be big news?
I believe it was ITV box office, am I correct?
Correct, it was. With their...
So...
What?
I was going to say, so what could possibly trump that in terms of television news?
How about an American station?
An American television station? Wow, okay. They're really getting serious in that case.
And not only is it serious, the actual station that's actually picked them up
is a station that has a proven track record of broadcasting wrestling, no less.
Correct. And if I'm not mistaken, they are coming back to the wrestling game. And this company...
After...
Go on.
after a wee while out, and this company has broadcast WWE in the past.
Correct. Now,
Just in case anyone's guessing along at home.
True. In case if anybody wants to know who it is none other than TNT.
TNT. As a former home of, Raw briefly, I believe.
I think it was briefly, and I believe it was also the home for WCW.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. So there you go. So that the company's really gathering ground. It has got itself a UK deal. It's got itself a North American TV deal. That basically means it's going to have a weekly TV show.
Potentially, or this could be for the pay-per-views.
Could well be both. We don't know the ins and outs of the deal, but it's a good start.
It is. It's looking up. It's looking good. It's great news for AEW and for all things wrestling, and it's potentially as much as a lot of people can say, oh, it's going to bash against WWE. They're not ready for that yet.
They're not ready for that yet, but with this new TV deal, well, both these TV deals, and everything else they're putting in place, they're setting themselves up to be in a position to be around long enough to maybe challenge WWE in the future. They're not looking like being a flash in the pan, which is...
Go on.
Which is no bad thing.
Correct. Or they could be potentially setting themselves up as an alternative.
Yeah, they could be setting themselves up for the long run as an alternative. Yeah, which is, as we say, good, because more competition in wrestling is not a bad thing.
Correct. Now, with that being mentioned, we have got to go on to two pieces of news. One of them, both of these are WWE related.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover, and this is, we didn't cover it last week because we didn't know about it. Now, Ric Flair, unfortunately, is having to require surgery.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have got an update in regards to the surgery, but we don't know exactly what the surgery is. However,
we know that it's nothing massively life-threatening, that or it's not a case that he needs it or he's going to be in any form of jeopardy, because it has been postponed.
It has. And as such, it is being postponed till Monday.
Until Monday, excuse me.
That's quite all right. And so with that...
And so, if there is any news next week, we will bring you more as soon as we get it, assuming there is any. There may not be.
True, and it could be that the surgery goes well and he's styling and profiling again.
We're all hoping as much.
Woo! However...
Indeed.
However, the next piece of news is something that almost could have happened, but was managed to be avoided through due diligence and checking up on details.
For which we're quite grateful, to be honest.
Correct. Now, unfortunately, in regards to where this had taken place, there is no details of where it's taken place, so it could be...
Despite the official press release, we're actually none the wiser because it wasn't mentioned.
Correct. However,
so we don't know, but we here at the Burning Truth condemn the possibility of it happening wherever it may have happened.
Could not agree with you more in regard to that.
Right, so let's not keep people in the dark any longer. Let's tell them what actually happened.
This is in regards to Kayla Braxton. Now,
who, for those that aren't aware, is a WWE ring announcer.
And personality for WWE.
Backstage announcer and general personality, yep.
Now, unfortunately, this is in regards to a moment when she was leaving the airport.
Yeah.
And as such, she was potentially being picked up by either she didn't state which one it was for her, but supposedly a Uber or Lyft driver approached her, stating that they are their Uber or Lyft driver, which one ever it was, and as such thought to ourselves at first, oh, they've arrived. But my application hasn't flagged up or anything.
Yeah. Generally, double-checked when doubt began to creep in, and, frankly, good job she did.
It's a good job that she did end up checking certain details, because what's ended up happening is instead of getting into the car, she's instead walked away from the situation, and as such, the reason why she's walked away from the situation is because
her suspicions were aroused, shall we say, and it turns out they were right to be.
Correct. Has her Uber or Lyft driver hadn't arrived to pick them up? To pick her up? No. And so whoever it was that was pretending to be that, slap Correct.
on the wrist from me. I'm not sure if it's the Burning Truth opinion, but for me, yeah.
It's something
you don't do things like that.
No.
You really don't.
Essentially, this could have led to an abduction. A possible abduction.
It could. Which is not something that anyone, especially us here at the Burning Truth, ever does or ever should condone.
Correct. And as such, because of this, thankfully she was able to figure out that the person wasn't who they claimed to be, and they avoided any potential danger in regards to the scenario. She has released a post on Twitter stating, "Ladies, be careful at the airports when picking up Uber or Lyft. There's people tricking women. There's people tricking women into thinking they're a ride and abducting them. A guy just tried it with me, and I knew immediately what he was up to. Be aware. Take all necessary precautions. It's a scary world." And that was I believe, posted out on the 18th of May.
Yes. It absolutely is a scary world when there are people out there prepared to do that, because let's face it, it's not the right thing to do.
It's not. And as such,
it benefits no one. It causes undue concern amongst people who have got other things to think about. And, what are you trying to gain? Seriously.
Basically,
stop it.
This is somebody trying to, how do we say,
potentially profit from someone else's misfortune, which is not something that anyone should ever do.
Correct, or the fact that they're actually preying on certain people who are currently busy, preoccupied, and as such. So
exactly.
All that we do state is, regardless of where you are, where you're coming from, where you're going to, please, 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 always stay vigilant, and please
absolutely double check everything and make sure that everything is as it's supposed to be before you do anything.
Correct. And as such, with all that being said, we are going to now move on from this situation as...
Yep. We've covered a lot of ground already, but we need to move on because I think we've strongly condemned it quite enough.
That we have. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving on to one of the main topics for this week, which I believe is what is happening Sunday.
What is happening this Sunday? Live and exclusive on the WWE Network.
Correct.
Yours for just $9.99.
Please send a check in the mail, please, Vince. Signed to the Burning Truth.
Pretty much.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to business and move on to the Money in the Bank, which I will state. What's your thoughts coming into Money in the Bank?
Coming into Money in the Bank? Well, I have to be brutally honest and say I have only caught snippets here and there of the build-up.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a bit of a combination of a personal situation, which I don't want to go into, because it's not wrestling related, so I'm sure you lovely Burning Truth listeners don't care. And I've been really ill this week as well, so I've got precious little wrestling watch, so I'm not massively up to date. But what I have seen, well, it makes me want to watch the show, and I guess that's the point of it. So WWE is doing its job.
All too right, all too right. And let's just state this one fact to everybody. There is one interesting fact in regard to the the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, is that unfortunately Alexa Bliss is no longer involved in it. She has actually been replaced with none other than Nikki Cross.
Yeah, is this due to her ongoing concussion issues?
This is possibly due to other it could be potentially in regards to her concussion issues. However, she was originally supposed to be returning today. However, unfortunately, medical has stated that she cannot be cleared for Money in the Bank.
Which is a real shame for her, but an opportunity to be seized for Nikki Cross. So let's focus on the positives there and wish Alexa Bliss well and a speedy recovery.
Which will be very, very interesting.
Yes. Right, so since we are both in different places, but I believe we're reading from the same screen.
Hopefully.
Well, okay, not the exact same screen, but we are looking at the same image. You know what I'm getting at, people.
Yeah.
Shall we start at the bottom of the screen?
True. We shall start at the bottom. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be starting potentially with matches that are going to be most likely on the pre-show.
Most likely. One confirmed and one more than likely based on recent evidence.
And history.
Yes.
They keep saying, it's going to be on the main show. No, it's not. Don't lie to us.
Yeah, stop trying to lie to us. We can see through you, honestly.
Correct. Anyway, the first match that we can safely say is confirmed is a tag team match.
Which
Go on.
Is yeah, interesting. I've kind of missed the build-up to this. So I'll get your take.
Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it sounds like we're having a bit of a technical issue. We do apologise for the inconvenience.
That's not good. Can you hear me?
We can. It was just there was a bit of static there. We do apologise for the inconvenience.
Yeah, my apologies if you didn't hear what I said. Just for the benefit of those who didn't, I was saying, I missed the build-up to this, so I'd like to get your take on it because it seems a little unusual.
Yeah, I kind of want to know where the build-up was.
Oh, yeah, there wasn't any, is that what you're saying?
There wasn't, to my knowledge, or if there was, it was most likely backstage on locker rooms, and basically Daniel Bryan and Rowan were declaring themselves as the best tag teams ever, and the fact that the Usos are nothing but jokesters and pranksters, have made a mockery of the tag team division.
Something that, with reasonably obvious, something that is reasonably obvious with hindsight, that the Usos were not going to take lying down even for a second, and so Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus the Usos will most likely be the opening match on the pre-show.
Potentially. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, why is this not for the SmackDown tag team titles?
Yeah.
Which is a good point. However, most likely the reason why that's not for the WWE tag team, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, is because the Usos are on Raw.
Yes. That'll probably be why. So, it's just a little battle for supremacy between a genuinely great tag team and an unproven tag team, because they haven't really tagged together all that much, who are claiming greatness.
But are the current WWE SmackDown champions, tag team champions?
Yes.
So, with that, the reason why I think that you haven't put it on, this opens it up so anybody can win.
I understand where they're going with that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's cool.
However, if they wanted to put a bit of drama into this match, even though it's on the pre-show,
It could have been for the titles.
it could have been for the titles, and everyone could say, but aren't the Usos on Raw? Very simple. If the Usos won,
They're
put
not
Usos-
on Raw anymore.
they're not on Raw, put them on SmackDown, and switch Daniel Bryan and Rowan to Raw.
Fairly simple and gives the match an extra edge, which sadly in the real world it doesn't have. But never mind. Okay, who you got for this one?
For me, I'm thinking it's a bit of a tough one with this match. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna have to go with Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
As the incumbent tag team champions, it would be silly for them not to win, so I'm going to have to agree with you there.
Yeah, it'd be silly not to. And it
Indeed.
would. Simply because if the Usos beat Daniel Bryan and Rowan, it just says what they have made, the statement that they were making means nothing. And if the Usos have beaten, Daniel Bryan and Rowan, that means technically SmackDown's tag team division is worse than the Raw tag team division.
Yes, which is a statement that WWE may be happy to imply, but are never going to actually outright make, because they want you to think they're both as good as each other, obviously, so you watch both.
True, and as such, may one want to keep this facade going up, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that certain future networks would probably be arguing against that as well.
Indeed.
But,
so we're both going for Daniel Bryan and Rowan to win that one.
Correct. We're now going to move on to the next match, which I think will be on the pre-show.
Based on the recent history of this sorts of thing, it is most likely to be. It's not noted as such as yet on the Wikipedia page for Money in the Bank 2019, but like we said, it basically will be.
And also just to state that the Wikipedia page is not the official WWE's page, and as such, we cannot state that as 100% fact or truth.
Indeed. However, the match in question is the singles match for the Cruiserweight Championship, pitting Tony Nese, the defending champion, against Arya Daivari, who has been on one hell of a roll just recently. Since
if I'm not mistaken, he's undefeated.
In 2019, as far as I'm aware, yes.
He is undefeated, which is very, very interesting.
Undefeated in 2019 or undefeated since his return?
I believe since his return.
Very impressive. And therefore gives the match a bit of an unknown edge.
Which it does. Supposedly, he's got a bit of, he hasn't lost as of yet. He has lost matches in WWE, but not as part of...
Not since his recent return, no.
As such, so he has been doing really, really well for himself.
Really well, indeed. However, so has current Cruiserweight champion Tony Nese, the man who, lest we forget, stopped the Unstoppable twice.
No, not once, but twice.
Twice, yeah. By that, of course, for those that aren't aware, we mean defeated former Cruiserweight champion Buddy Murphy. I'm sure, as you're wrestling fans, you know that, but I feel sad that I have to clarify, but trust me, I do.
There's no shame in that, and the fact is, if you didn't know, then fair enough. And I will state, Tony Nese has been interesting as Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a good pick, a very good pick, and it's somebody who I think has got a solid reputation, is solid in the ring, he looks the part.
Absolutely.
And he was the right guy to beat Buddy Murphy.
Yeah. However, who you got for this one?
It's got to be Tony Nese.
Oh, there you go, you see. Because as much as I think it probably will be, my, little flutter of nonsense says I think they wouldn't build Davari up this much just to have him fall short.
True. But at the same
So
time...
I'm going to go for... Yeah, go on.
Go on.
At the same time.
The reason why I don't think he will lose, Tony Nese will lose, is he's only just recently won the title.
True. Well, I think that they're going to go for a little bit of a bait and switch, as it were. I think Davari will win to maintain his unbeaten streak, but in such a way that he doesn't get the title, namely by a, disqualification or count out or something that means there will be a rematch. That's the way I'm going. That's the way I see it.
Potentially, but I feel as though that would make it a bit cheapened.
Possibly, but no, that's the way I see that they can keep both Nese with the championship and Davari with his undefeated streak a little bit longer.
Fair enough.
Cool.
But anyway, shall we move on?
Let's move on. The next match is the singles match for the WWE United States Championship.
I will apologise for this because I've only just realised we need to be making notes of this.
You do, yes. It's probably best if we just recap where we've been so far before we move on to the...
No. Just carry on. Please
cool?
Carry on.
All right, that's cool. The singles match for the US Championship, pitting current champion Samoa Joe against Rey Mysterio. A proper generation fight, this, almost. Well, you could say that, but then, of course, as far as the WWE fans are concerned, that's what it is. But for those of us that watch wrestling outside WWE, we know Samoa Joe's been around nearly as long as Rey Mysterio. He just didn't make it to WWE for considerably longer. Mm-hmm. So, Joe's the incumbent champion. I have honestly seen none of the build-up to this, so I'm assuming they still have Joe playing the monster heel who just puts everyone to sleep.
Oh,
and possibly with a hint of no respect for...
family?
I was going to say no respect for someone with the legacy and the career that Rey Mysterio has had. But yeah, family as well, probably.
Oh yeah, and how has he done that? The fact that Dominic is around. By stating, saying to Dominic, you look up to your dad, or should I say, you look down on your dad. Nothing new there.
Yeah. The cheap jokes are always the ones WWE choose.
And pretty much to state, the only thing that his dad's going to be doing is looking up at the lights when I make him go night-night.
Yeah, so far, so by the book. But the thing is, with Samoa Joe, it's always believable.
It is, and
you genuinely believe he will put the other person's lights out.
Or more likely, what the fans are really stating, Joe's gonna kill you.
I was building up to that, but yes, exactly that.
Pretty much.
So with that in mind, I think I'm going to go for Joe to retain.
It's got to be.
Yep.
There's no ifs or buts about it.
No. Okay. So we've got to go for Joe to retain there. Now, the next match on the list, being as it is number 8, with I think the way that this is scheduled, is possibly with number 11, the first one we said being the pre-show, building towards the main event, perhaps. I perhaps disagree with the order that they're listed, but we're going with the order they're listed.
The thing is, this is the order that is on Wikipedia, not the official release, but let's just state...
Not the official match order, yeah.
I actually think this will be a main event, one of the main events.
I think there'll probably be 2, one for each World Championship, and this obviously will be one of them.
Or 4.
When you put it like that, yeah, because of the 2 Money in the Bank matches as well, yep, that too.
6.
But this will be the first of the championship matches, a singles match for the WWE Championship.
Actually, you're incorrect there, because the Samoa Joe vs. Rey Mysterio is for the United States Championship.
No. I meant, for the main heavyweight championships.
I get what you mean. But anyway, ladies and
As
gentlemen,
in either the WWE or the Universal, one of those two. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I wasn't particularly clear with that, so my apologies.
that was quite all right. And ladies and gentlemen, this is none other than...
This is pitting the incumbent champion, Kofi Kingston, against Kevin Owens.
formerly known as the Big O.
Now, I've seen, again, none of this build-up. The last time I watched SmackDown, Kevin Owens was Big O. He was an honorary member of the New Day. What happened? His comeback as a crowd favourite lasted all of about 3 seconds.
He snapped.
That figures.
He snapped and decided it's all fine and being friendly, but when it comes to championships, friends go out the door.
Well, now that is possibly the correct attitude to have, if perhaps not the way to demonstrate it. When it comes to World Championships, there are only opponents, there are no friends. However, he's let his desire for gold override anything,
Yep.
a bit of fun that he may have been having with Kofi Kingston. So, yeah,
Or
interesting one, this.
He might not have liked the so-called fun that he was experiencing, as he might have thought it was mocking him. But at the same time...
That is a distinct possibility.
It's a possibility, but at the same time, this goes to show how serious it is. Kevin Owens could potentially be using this to get into the mind of Kofi Kingston, but Kofi is not backing down at all. And as such, Kevin Owens is... Go on.
Well, I was saying, which is fantastic, because it's going to be one hell of a fight.
True,
and on
top of that, everyone's thinking, what about New Day? What about New Day? They outnumber him. Not at the moment.
Not currently.
Because, unfortunately, Big E isn't there, as he's actually currently injured and waiting to return.
Yep.
And Xavier Woods isn't injured and can be in his corner. However, Kevin Owens had a surprise backup appear on SmackDown due to the wildcard rule.
Would that be a long time, both friend and rival, depending on what particular time you've caught them at of his?
That would be none other than Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. So yeah, the potential for the score to be evened up means it's going to be a very interesting match. One which I think Kevin Owens will run close, but I've got a call. I don't think Kofi Mania is coming to an end anytime soon.
It ain't.
No matter how much Kevin Owens might want it to. So I'm calling Kofi to retain on that one.
It isn't, and I'm going to state that Kofi Kingston will be still WWE Champion.
Yeah, I agree. Bad for one of us wanting to win the predictions, but, hey, it's just going to happen.
All too true.
We have to move on because, hey, there's still a lot of matches to cover, so we need to keep moving. The next match is not a championship match, but it is a steel cage match.
That it is.
It is the possibly feud ender, although with these two at the moment, honestly, who knows?
True.
Between The Miz and Shane McMahon.
No, you did that wrong. You said that wrong.
I did. Okay, please correct me, that's fine.
We have to do it correctly, because if Shane McMahon heard that, he would have been really, really upset. You do realise...
I'm sure he would.
If Vince heard that, then, we'd be having no revenue, even though we're not getting any. I'd just like to add.
Are you referring to the fact that I didn't refer to Shane by his self-appointed nickname?
Correct. Allow me to demonstrate.
As you wish.
It is The Miz versus the best in the world. Shane McMahon. Supposedly. I thought I'd just add this
Right.
supposedly in, just for us.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I have to add supposedly because as much as I just did that big, massive announcement, there's no way I can say he's the best in the world.
Just to counterbalance that, of course, lest we forget,
Yes.
he is
But-
the Miz, and he is awesome.
There we go. I feel much better now.
Yeah.
I feel much
Got
better.
to get both sides in.
You
As
have
far
to.
as the match goes, yeah, you have to. As far as the match goes, I maybe I don't think Shane McMahon would be paying me this month if I was a WWE employee, but I'm going for the Miz on this one.
You're not going to like this.
So are you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's. I know
Yeah.
it might be saying we're agreeing, we should be arguing, but we want to win.
Yeah, of course we do. We want to win, so we are picking the most likely winners from where we stand, which, as it turns out, is quite a similar place on that one.
That it is. That it is.
Next, we move swiftly on. Have you made a note of that?
That we have, and this is
Cool.
a match
The
that
singles
has
match.
a singles match.
Oh, sorry, go on.
This is a match that will have, well, this is the first match of one person's on the night.
The first match of one person's double header on the evening, yep.
Correct. And this is a singles match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship.
And it will be the reigning, defending SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch.
Or Becky Two Belts by some people's statements.
Yep. Against Charlotte Flair.
Correct.
And in as much as, well, there has been a little bit of controversy around this one, has there not?
Oh.
Regarding a certain Charlotte Cena and her monopolising of title opportunities. But there's no two ways about it. Whatever you feel about that, it's going to be a great match.
If she doesn't win
Yep.
the championship, WWE, move on!
Yeah. Give someone else a chance almost immediately. And give her about 6 months off, well, about a year off from the title picture.
Please move on!
Yes. Which means I don't think you're going to like my prediction for this.
Go on.
Because I think that, however briefly it may be, I have a feeling that if it happens, then it will be won back at the next big event, but I think Charlotte's going to win.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I sense you disagree.
Oh, I wholeheartedly disagree. Even though
Ah.
what I am going to state may have me wondering, why would they do that? Because they're burying two people. Possibly.
Possibly.
If I predict the same in the second match.
Okay, that's intriguing. You're going to have to tell us what you predict now.
My prediction is that Becky Lynch has got Charlotte Flair's number. And Becky
Interesting.
Lynch will be leaving the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Well, champion.
We'll be leaving as she came in, still the SmackDown. Okay, so we're different on that one, which is a good thing for one of us winning.
Correct.
The next match on the card is a singles match, a grudge match. There's no title on the line. It's not a cage match. It's just a singles match. And it is Roman Reigns
Yep.
against Vince McMahon's chosen one. Oh, wait, sorry, no.
No.
It's not 2005 era Drew McIntyre. No, it is Elias.
Oh, he went there. He went there.
I'm afraid I did. Sorry. What's seen cannot be unseen. It is Roman Reigns versus Elias.
That it is. And
I think we don't need to... Sorry, go on.
I would actually agree with you on that one.
Mm.
We don't need to agree.
Yeah, we don't need to dwell on this. Roman Reigns is going to win. Move on.
Move on. Well, you know what? We'll have to just state it.
Okay, I will let you then.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I already said. Roman Reigns is going to win. It's a given. Move on.
Pretty much. It's an easy one because I'll be surprised if Elias wins.
He'll put in a great showing, I've no doubt, but spoiler alert, non-wrestling sports news fans, there was more chance of Watford winning the FA Cup.
Ouch.
Yeah, I went there.
Ouch, get some ointment on that.
Zing!
But anyway,
yeah, Roman Reigns, move on. The next match.
In case if anybody doesn't know what the reference that my colleague just mentioned, that would be for the
English FA Cup final, which happened this Saturday. So today for us recording now, but
Correct.
Probably yesterday when you are listening to this.
Correct. And as such, let's just state this. That was in regards to the BPL, which is under for FIFA, which is part of football around the world, or soccer in America.
It's football. And there's a simple code for this, North American folks. It is the game called football, where you control the ball with your foot, not the game called hand egg, where you carry an egg in your hand.
And let me just state that was John Ballor who made that comment, not of the Burning Truth or
that
of
is
Matt Burns.
My personal opinion and does not reflect the opinion of Matt Burns or the Burning Truth. I will state that for the record.
Thank you.
Also, it was a joke.
Yeah, but you do realise...
Factual joke, but a joke nonetheless.
You do realise that American football fans can be very, very particular in regards to that sport.
Yes, I am sure that hundreds of hand egg fans will get in touch and berate me every turn. To which I say, unfortunately, I have kicked that nest of vipers and I will live with the consequences.
Please don't send hate mail. Please don't.
No, please don't. If you wish to get in touch, you can, but hey, please bear in mind, keep it constructive.
Right,
Nobody likes sniping.
Anyway. Let's move on. Let's move on.
The next match is the first of two Money in the Bank ladder matches, and this one is for the Women's Championship match contracts. Natalya versus Dana Brooke versus Naomi versus Bayley versus Mandy Rose versus Ember Moon versus Carmella versus late replacement for Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross. No, I'm not saying that again.
No.
That is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 women's match. I had to count them because I thought it was only 7, but no, it is 8. And, oh my goodness me, I know who I think is going to win based on what little I've seen of WWE recently, but it's kind of a crapshoot, this one, isn't it?
Who you think?
Who do I think? I think the last I saw of her on WWE television, decidedly grouchy and not in a particularly huggy mood, former hugger.
Ooh. Interesting.
And former women's tag team champion. One half of. Bayley is my pick to win this.
I am actually going to go off the deep end right now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself. Matt Burns has got his soapbox polished and ready, and I have a feeling he's about to use it.
Nope. The deep end
Okay.
of Into Madness. I think...
Madness.
Yes.
Now, are we talking, you think Mandy Rose is going to win Madness, or you think Nikki Cross is going to win Madness?
How did you know?
Option B.
Option A.
You think Mandy Rose is going to win?
Unfortunately, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the record, I am talking because it is an audio thing. It's a podcast. It requires me to talk. It's kind of a bit moot otherwise, but just for the record, I am speechless.
Yeah. But I actually have a reason behind it.
Which I would love to hear.
That probably nobody, when looking at this match, has even picked up, let alone yourself.
Well, I almost certainly won't have done, but please, before we go any further, do tell me what it is, because speculating will only make me look, well, sillier than I may have already made myself look, so just tell me.
Look on that entire match card.
Yes.
Right? It's all evens between Raw and SmackDown.
Yep.
However, it might work in your case if Charlotte wins, possibly.
Yep.
But, out of everybody in that match, who's a villain?
You see, this is part of the thing. Who's a villain? Very soon, if she carries on down her current trajectory, Bayley.
That's if she turns. If. But she's got to
Well,
turn.
if winning this
But then
may cement that, you never
wait.
know.
But if she does turn, then that'd be against Becky. But if you're going by your logic, that Charlotte's winning, then Bayley is going to be a hero, a face.
Well,
You
I see what you're saying.
Out of everybody in that
I
match,
hadn't thought of it at the time.
in regards to it, how many of them are actual heel?
3.
Go on.
Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, and Carmella.
Dana Brooke isn't, because technically she was actually seriously beaten up by I believe, Ronda Rousey.
Okay, 2. 2 for certain, and 1 possibly, but Mandy Rose, Carmella, and is Nikki Cross technically supposed to be a heel? I don't actually know. I think
Carmella
that's part of the
is
thing,
not
is
heel.
I don't think we're supposed to know.
Carmella isn't heel. She's actually face, because that's why she's with R-Truth. And Nikki Cross isn't. She's actually popular.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
Especially with how she has been during this week filling in for a certain person who she's actually replacing on the night. Because it looked like,
I see what you're saying there.
It looked like they're going to go down the road of she's being manipulated. Possibly.
I know, I can understand your logic completely, I can. And we're going for different people, which means it's good because unless we both get it wrong, one of us is more likely to win. So that's good.
Yeah.
You say Mandy Rose, I say Bayley.
I know, I didn't think I'd be saying Mandy Rose.
I genuinely didn't, but there's a first time for everything.
And it makes it even weirder.
Go on.
I only came to that decision just before, literally seconds before.
3 seconds before you said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I only came to the decision of Bayley when I saw the list of everyone else in the match. So there you go.
No. It was like, I saw the list earlier, and my brain was going, Bayley, Bayley, Bayley. And then as I sat down, and when I saw the list myself again, and as you mentioned Bayley, I just went, hang on. 1, 2,
We'll
3.
see. I hope you're not right, but you could well be.
If it is, then...
Anyway.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on to the second Money in the Bank ladder match for a men's singles world championship match contract.
correct, which is pitting Sami Zayn versus Ricochet versus Drew
Mr.
McIntyre.
McMahon's chosen one.
Former chosen one.
Drew McIntyre.
The Scottish
Versus-
psychopath. Versus
Yeah.
Baron Corbin, who supposedly lost his suit. Supposedly.
Oh, finally.
Supposedly, I don't know if it was one night only. Versus Ali. And he's not a prince. Versus
The
Finn
artist
Balor.
formerly known as Mustafa.
Correct. Versus
Finn Balor.
Versus
Versus
Andrade?
Mr. 100. Andrade Cien Almas. Oh, wait, no, he's just Andrade now.
yeah. Versus
Oh, have you heard? There's some news brewing. WWE have decided to shorten his name. He's just Randy now.
no, he's not. No, he's
That
not.
was a joke. That's not true.
No, if they're going to go down that road, they'd go more Orton, not Randy. Oh, good.
Oh, I'm
no,
sure.
no,
I'm
no.
sure.
'Cause that just sounds
Sami
wrong.
versus Ricochet versus Drew versus Corbin versus Ali versus Finn versus Andrade versus Randy. That's what the match is now because everyone's only allowed one name.
Correct. We'll allow that. Yeah. Good Lord.
This is an absolute crapshoot. I've got no idea who's going to win this. I have who I think will probably win versus who I'd like to win, but it's not the same person.
Would you like me to throw in who I think,
Go on then.
and actually like to win?
For you, it's the same person. Okay, please do tell me.
He is none other than the former chosen one. He is the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre.
Ah, you think old Velvet's going to win, do you? Interesting.
I do.
Interesting. People of my age and possibly older and fans of 1980s WWF television will get that reference. If you don't, popular internet search engine it.
Like it.
Yes. Okay. In my case, heart says Ricochet, head says probably Baron Corbin.
Oh, good Lord, no.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen.
No,
That's what I think is going to happen.
No, don't be
No, I would do almost anything to prevent it from happening, but sadly,
You know what?
I think it will.
You're almost going down the same road as I was in the last prediction, in the last match.
Possibly. All right, so I'm going to, as much as I'd like Ricochet to win, he's not going to. I'm going to go with Corbin.
Interesting. So with that, it is Drew.
For you.
Yeah. And Baron for you.
Yes. We move on to the second to last match, the singles match for the WWE Universal Championship.
Which
Pitting.
I've got to say is what a match.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably the main reason why AJ is now on Raw. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, to put him in the world title picture, obviously, but a match. AJ Styles against the champion Seth Rollins. Oof. That, well, you, as wrestling fans, don't need me to insult you by telling you what a match that's going to be. You know it's going to be a 5-star classic.
WWE, please take my money.
Yeah. To quote Philip J. Fry, shut up and take my money.
Good quotation. Good quote.
Indeed.
But
Right,
we have got to pick a winner.
go on. We have got to pick a winner, yes.
I am going to go with Seth fricking Rollins.
As much as I'd like to disagree with you for the sake of a bit of jeopardy in the old predictions, he beat Brock Lesnar. He hasn't had the title 5 minutes. I'm going to have to agree with you.
Yeah, and especially with the fact that I believe there was a statement released in regards to Seth Rollins' actual dating life as well.
Yeah.
He is supposedly dating someone who is popular.
Someone who we're about to mention in the other
Again.
final match of the evening. Her
Again.
second of the night. Hint, hint.
Correct. Becky Lynch. But anyway,
Yes.
we're both going for Seth Rollins from the looks of it.
We are. Which leaves us with only one match. It is Becky Lynch's second outing of the night. It is the singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. And
she is against
it's
Lacey
the match
Evans.
that if I was scheduling the pay-per-view, I'd put on first. But that's just me.
Fair enough. But let me just state this. I honestly think that Seth Rollins and AJ Styles could be a match of the night potential.
Match of the night, I think it has the potential to be match of the year.
Potential. Yeah. But anyway.
Potential, yeah, absolutely.
Let's get on to the last
Becky Lynch
match.
versus Lacey for the Raw Women's Championship. Sorry, but Becky's retaining. Next.
Whew. Aren't you ready for mine?
Well, you obviously disagree, so that's good. But yeah, go on.
I am going to potentially do something that you may not expect.
You disagree with me.
Oh no,
you crazy mad fool.
I actually do agree with you.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
I'm not that crazy. I'm crazy nevertheless, especially since as in my predictions, I have actually predicted Becky Lynch to successfully defend her championship not once, but twice.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm thinking she will successfully defend it once, and this is the occasion because, yeah.
Yep.
Lacey Evans is not ready yet.
She isn't.
Stick her back in the oven. She ain't done yet.
She's not ready. We'll have to see what goes on. But
indeed,
she's got a promising career if
Becky
thought
Lynch.
through.
Sorry?
She has got a promising career if looked after correctly.
Yes, if utilised correctly. So that's Becky Lynch for both of us for that one, and that pretty much wraps up our predictions for Money in the Bank, which occurs, if you're listening to this on Sunday, later tonight.
Which is most likely
if you're
what
listening
you
to this after Sunday, in the past, and if you're listening to this any time before that, how have you done that? Get back in your time machine. Come on, what are you playing at?
How you listen to us live, because we're not live now.
Exactly. That's some witchcraft there.
And
anyway,
let me say this. And if you have got them powers, please let us know, because we need more time ourselves. We need to be able to make more time.
If you can find a way for us to have, a 3-hour runtime, and yet it only runs actually in real world for an hour, great. Let us know,
please.
Yeah. But anyway, that concludes almost the entirety of this week's show. That concludes the Money in the Bank predictions. But there's one more thing we have to talk about, do we not?
That we do, which for next week.
Takes place next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
The 25th of May.
That is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is in regards to British wrestling. This is in regards to UKWA. So yes, this is me advertising a product I actually help run.
Have a stake in, yeah. This is a self-promotion exercise. However, we make no excuses for that.
Correct. And as such, next week is UKWA Sugar Rush.
Sugar Rush.
Now.
What? I was going to say, the second show.
The second show for the UKWA.
The follow-on from the smash hit 0 Hour. Available now on Turnbuckle TV.
Correct. And if I'm not mistaken, Sugar Rush will be eventually available on Turnbuckle TV as well.
Shortly after the event. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, depending on due to editing and as such. But as soon as it is on there, it will be announced on social media as such. It'll be across UKWA
across
social media.
All of UKWA social media, across Burning Truth social media, of course, as well, because we'll be promoting it on here.
Correct, as much as possible. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is in regards to the fact that a lot of people might have noticed that we are 2 matches, well, not 2 matches, we do actually have 2 more matches to announce, but we are waiting for them to be revealed during the week.
In the lead up, treating you mean, keeping you keen, keeping it as last minute as possible to make sure that interest, as if it could, doesn't drop off before the big event.
Correct, which is in fact that the 2 matches, we've not actually mentioned what match the champion is in, or what match the Sugar Dunkerton is in. Could that be related?
Yes, our fantastic import and the reason for the show title.
Correct. And as such, I will
But,
state...
Yep,
continue.
go on.
We've had some ups and downs in regard to the show, because an up is that we have got 4 massive matches. In case if anybody does want to see what matches they are, please check out our social media.
Absolutely.
However, if anybody has been following the UKWA social media, you will have noticed that we actually had some unfortunate news to reveal this week.
Just for those of you who may not have seen it, please recap.
Which is the fact that, unfortunately, one match has had to change.
Okay.
Because we've ended up having to have a dropout in the fact that Tommy Hayden is unable to attend the show due to not being given medical clearance.
Which is a crying shame, but we wish him all the best, and we hope that he is medically cleared as soon as possible.
We do, and both myself and Renee have both stated that we hope nothing but the best for a speedy recovery, and that he has nothing to worry. He will always have a spot on the UKWA roster, and he should not worry. He should focus on himself. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, that means we've just made an opening.
There is an opening, a hole in the roster, in the match that he was scheduled to take part in. However, well, there was. I'm guessing it's been filled, and you're about to fill us in on how.
Correct. Now, a lot of people may be following us on social media as such. Now, I know yourself don't actually check up on Facebook. But
personally, I am not on Facebook, no, but I know that plenty of people are.
Correct. And I can also say we ended up doing a special announcement. Basically, we stated that we opened the doors to anyone to throw down into the gauntlet for an open challenge. Any wrestler.
Any currently active wrestler. Not even British wrestler, just any.
Any wrestler, be it from any country, male or female, any. You can even be from outer space.
If there's any Martian wrestlers currently listening, yes, it could even be them.
It could have been.
It isn't, but we just want you to make it clear it could have been.
Could have been. But, instead, I will state, the inbox that we had, my own personal mailbox and email, got absolutely flooded.
What, with positive mentions of this person?
Oh, no. Not just this person. Of magnitude of people wanting to be involved.
I see. I see. So you were basically inundated with people going, me.
And him. As well.
And pick this guy, yeah. So you weren't short of spectacular choices. That's a beautiful thing.
We're talking multiple pages of A4, front and back.
What, just the suggestions for one spot in one match?
Yep.
Good Lord. That can't have made your decision easy, but who have you gone for?
However, we ended up narrowing it down to 8 people.
Narrowing the one available slot down to 8 people.
And as such,
are we having a battle royal instead?
No. We ended up doing a head-to-head voting tournament on Facebook.
Oh, I see. With all 8 of those people, 4 of them, how many did you put on the vote in the end?
We ended up putting 8, and I can actually name them for you right now, which was
Go on.
Dino Babic,
Yep.
Joe 90s,
Yep.
Bert Fabulous Bridge,
Yep.
Kit Knox,
Yep.
White Tiger,
Yep.
Harley Faith,
Yep.
Gemma Stone,
Ooh. This just gets better and better. And
the current SWA heavyweight champion, Joey Sanchez.
wow, that is a long list of big names. So I assume you put this to the public vote.
In head-to-head battles, that meant that we ended up doing a quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then a final.
Well, we don't need the full details, but what we do need to know is who won the grand final.
I can also say it was none other than Kit Knox.
Ooh.
And as such, he made a statement stating that UK heavyweight is getting kitted out.
He did. And doubtless it will be.
Correct. And I can also say this. Wow. In regards to that voting, the voting tournament. Wow.
Yeah.
The reason why I say this is because it was the fact that we didn't just have a small amount of people voting.
No. It was a huge amount.
Right. This is counting every single vote.
Yep.
I am officially going to calculate. This is from the quarterfinals.
Yep.
To the final.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, live maths with Matt Burns on the Burning Truth.
You think I'm going to be calculating like that? No. I'm a lot more clever than that.
You did it beforehand. I like your thinking.
Not quite. Not quite.
No? Okay.
However, I do actually have the numbers in front of me and was smart enough to be ready with a calculator.
Oh, right. Okay, then. With that in mind, have you added them up already? Would you like to just tell us what they were? Or would you like some sort of fanfare or drum roll or something?
How many do you think voted?
Well, I don't want to guess, because if I say, 3 million and it's 10,000, I'm going to look silly. If I say 10,000 and it's 3 million, I'm going to look silly.
No. I'll tell you
I don't want to guess. But would you like to give me a ballpark figure?
It's nowhere in the... You said about 1,000, didn't you? You were guessing.
Well, I said that was one of my guesses. Yeah, okay, I'll go with that if that's where you're leading me.
There was, in total, this is from the quarterfinals to the final, grand
7
total.
Separate contests. Yep.
A grand total of 2,153 votes.
Which, for a wrestling company on its second show, that's pretty damn good going.
And that was across 3 days.
Yep.
Wow. I can honestly say,
indeed.
Congratulations to Kit Knox.
Absolutely.
Both myself and Renee could not have been any more prouder. We were happy with any one of the people who we had selected winning the tournament. We would have been happy with anyone, but congratulations in regards to winning. And that's what I've got to say, a massive thank you to each and every single person that voted.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It means the whole world to me, the fact that you went out your way to focus as much as this. But let me just state this. You've all voted. Now take the one next step. You've voted him in. Let's see how he does.
Now come watch him. Yeah.
Sugar Rush against Jared Gorwick. But as such, we'll have to wait and see what goes on with regards to that. But I believe there might be some statements being revealed soon in regards to lead up to matches. There could be, there is going to be more match announcements because there's two more that we haven't stated, where the King of the Kingdom champion is involved and where Sugar Dunkerton is as well. But we'll have more on that in the upcoming week towards Sugar Rush. And I believe if anybody is interested in purchasing advance tickets as such, please go to the website www.ukwrestlingalliance.com. But with that will be all for this week. But ladies and gentlemen, we need to just discuss one thing. Next week's topics will be the fallout of WWE Money in the Bank, and of course,
the fallout of UKWA Sugar Rush.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I'll be there, possibly doing some reprimanding.
I almost undoubtedly doing some reprimanding. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yeah, I will be there too.
That you will be.
Doing my job as the UKWA's voice of reason.
Correct. And
guiding you through proceedings from behind the commentary desk. And
we do actually have a special guest possibly joining John Ballore on the commentary team.
Ooh.
A possible.
Now, I don't want to get people's hopes up when I say this, just in case it isn't, but is it you?
No, it's not myself. Although I am tempted to do that just to keep a check on Drew.
Well, someone's got to. I mean, I've got to focus on the matches. I can't have, I've got to have at least one eye on the matches and one eye on him. But
however, you have got potentially backup in the fact that somebody else will be joining you as well, which is none other than Tom Baker, who also does interviews, talk wrestling, and everything. He does quite a lot of interviews as such lately, and is someone who has been interested in also attending a UKWA show, and I feel as though he'll be a great addition to the broadcast team.
That sounds fantastic. I look forward to it.
So do I. But anyway, with that will be it for this week.
That pretty much wraps up this week's episode, give or take. I don't know, are you doing the plugs, or are we not bothering this week?
I'll have to get it done. But anyway, I'll be quickly speeding this up for you in regards to this. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for our usual plugs, I would recommend you all to check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out UKWM, also known as UK Wrestling Media. Please check out Manchester Pro Academy, where beginner classes are on Monday, £10 per class, between 7 PM and 9 PM, which is the UK and British Standard Time. For directions to the location, please check out on their social media, most likely on Facebook. Please check out JG Printing and Stitching, who is an absolute do absolute quality work. Of course, additionally, on top of that, please check out JFX3D for any custom items that you need making, be it for cosplay or much more. Please give them a check out on social media as well. And please check out charities like Mind and Changes UK for health and well-being. Of course, with Mind, if I'm not mistaken, there's also a current little special challenge going on, which is Messy for Mind, which is being mostly run through May, and it's something that's quite interesting. So please give that a check out as well. Please check out Team 4-Star, who do absolutely fantastic work, especially with the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series. Please check out bands like The New Breed, Cannons and Blackpool. Please, of course, as always, please check out Botchamania and WrestleCrap. You're welcome, Matthew.
And RD.
Also, and additionally on top of that, please check out OSW Reviews. Honestly, can also state it's absolutely hilarious. And John Ball he might not have seen this, but if you have, he'll get this reference. What bar is he? In case you want to know what I'm referring to, please check him out. And
Indeed.
And of course, if I'm not mistaken, Matthew from Botchamania also makes guest appearances on there as well. So that's how good it is.
Cool.
Please also check out Philip DeFranco on YouTube for all worldwide news. Please check out When Fandom Strikes on TikTok, and of course her music on YouTube as well. Please check out Luke Moto, who, if I'm not mistaken, has been doing some vlogging. Still, in regards to on YouTube, please check out a following podcast, but it's not a wrestling podcast. It is talking about all DC, Marvel, everything geeky. It is none other than Geek of the Week. And it's being run by a person who we know from the wrestling business is none other than Magic Mark Adams. So please check that out.
Podcaster and commentator extraordinaire.
That he is. And please check out Kayfabe Music UK. After some custom-made music. They do absolutely amazing work. Please check out Turnbuckle TV. You definitely need to check that out.
Turnbuckle TV, the home of the UKWA and many other wrestling promotions.
Correct. And they actually do an absolutely fantastic deal because you don't just get one company when you sign up, you get across the board.
You get every company they have on their roster, which, by the way, is growing all the time.
It is. And of course, as always, please check out your local wrestling shows. Just some examples are United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling for You, and of course, UK Wrestling Alliance, of course, as well.
Yep, I would like to add to that GPW, NGW, Future Shock, and of course, Falling Stars. Wherever you are, there's probably a wrestling company near you, so Google it. Sorry, go on.
We do apologise. If you could please just re-mention your shout-outs because we had a bit of a static. Could please re-mention them?
Oh, apologise. Just in case anyone didn't hear, that was NGW, GPW, Future Shock Wrestling, Falling Star Wrestling, and any wrestling company wherever you may be in the country. Use your internet search engine to type in wrestling near me, and there's every chance you're within a spitting distance of a show. And if you are, go see it.
Go check it out, because we always recommend you check out your local wrestling shows. And
absolutely.
Please check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com, where you can potentially listen to us live, listen to past broadcast episodes, past interviews, show reviews, written and also audibly, where you can get merchandise. You can contact us on there. We've got links pages on there, but let me just state this: the Burning Truth cannot be held responsible for any external link on the links page, as we cannot be held responsible for any external links, as we do not.
We are not responsible for the content of external websites, is I believe what you're trying to say.
Correct. And of course, please check out our social media. Of course, please check out Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. But the Twitter handle is spelled out a little bit differently. It's a different words, but I'll spell it out for you instead, which is WRESLING4THWALL. And of course, you can listen to some past episodes on Spotify.
Jobs are good. Right, I think both of us are feeling decidedly under the weather, and this hasn't helped, so we are going to call it a night.
That we are. So with that, hopefully we will catch you next week live, if possible. Oh, wait.
Fingers crossed.
Unfortunately, I've just found out and just figured out we can't.
There's nothing quite like live on the air realisation of that. Okay, well, we will come to you next week at some point, to be determined between now and then exactly when.
I will most likely state that next week we will have a potential later than usual episode, in the fact that it will be on a different day, or we could end up skipping the episode as a whole for that week and be doing it the following week. This is the reason why. The reason why we'll be doing that is because, as such, Saturday we will be at UKWA, and Sunday I will actually be at FCW doing commentary.
Aha, I see. So the broadcast will have to be, if it does occur, probably Monday or later. So
Possibly.
We'll work it out, and we'll let you know via the Burning True social media as soon as we've worked it out.
That we will. So with that, we'll hopefully catch you sometime soon. But if not, please, as always, stay well, stay safe, and we will catch you next time. And as always, please, 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 check out your local wrestling.
Your local wrestling.
And as always, catch you later.
Thanks for listening, and good night.